All right, folks. Hey, welcome on back here this Monday afternoon, shortly after 2:30 p.m. Eastern time. I have switched shirts. Welcome on back here for this afternoon meeting. Great to see all of our students and members alike. Jim later just before. A bunch of us just cleaned up, though, a moment ago on this BTAI trade. This has been just a home run. It's been a gift that fell into our lap. It couldn't have gone any better. Real quick, let me just get a sound check just to begin. Make sure everyone's got me here loud and clear just inside our live trading room, as well as on social media, Facebook Live, LinkedIn, Twitter, X, YouTube, etc. at Cyber Trading U. But otherwise, inside our live trading room, I saw a couple of us earlier just write this. Give me a quick moment here. I got to reshare my screen. One moment here. Something just happened. There we go. So all of us here inside our room, you should have my screen now. But let me ask Lawrence, Barbara, Kevin, Margaret, Uday, anyone here, who here is in on this BTAI trade? Whether you had re-entered or were in from earlier, still riding this out with us here just now. Barbara, you're in. Lawrence, you're in. Few of us. There you go. Nice. Wiz, good evening. Always appreciate Wiz joining us here in the afternoon. It's like 9 p.m. by him. Elizabeth, great to see Elizabeth did as well as Christopher T. Perfect. All right, excellent. A bunch of us. Now, more for our students. We cover this in class, and we just came off a free workshop we do every Monday, simulcast inside our live trading room as well as on YouTube. But that's where I'll tell you, this makes, for this stock, BTAI, to be extremely tradable. Good spread, bunch of big orders at pretty much every price. And if you were listening to what we were covering inside our workshop just before, if you were a part of Traders Talk, then you had the chance to follow us live on this move from $1.73 up towards just where we got out at first at 225. But now at this point, we're looking for a new move back up. Just before, I called out to our students and members just looking for the BTAI trade to make a bounce off of 210, 215. Give me a moment here. I always like to show this because especially if you're on social media, Facebook Live, YouTube, etc. This is what we're posting all throughout the given day. So just earlier, this was after our workshop, at least I wrote this to all of our students. BTAI historical level around 222 to 228. That should be resistance. All right, well, generally speaking, look what became resistance. It's actually holding under that exact price right now, the 228 that is. I'm looking for a smaller support to build here over time. This might take a little bit to develop. So I'm in on my next trade now at 214. Took a good entry. The question is, am I going to get a higher high or a lower high? If I get a lower high here and it comes back, then I just got to make sure that I keep with higher lows throughout this overall trend, even going back to these wicks. So I have my stop set on this next position. But, if you're in with us on this trade, definitely let us know right now inside our live trading room. Kevin, your second go around. Excellent, my friend. Very nice. So a bunch of us here seemingly doing pretty good so far on this BTAI trade. Again, this is like, up a lot percentage-wise. So it is kind of the shiny object in the room. Don't get me wrong. Most stocks that are on the top of the gainers list, basically, I'll just say, are the shiny objects in the room. But this made this very tradable. Good spread, big order size on both sides of the field, at least, including right here at 230. You got a sell order here for about 23K, one at 240. Let me show you earlier, at least on this, though. We had this just before, and I'm in on a couple other trades, at least, that are doing pretty good here, too. But the BTAI, we had this opening print right at the market open, and we are coming off our workshop telling you, hey, if this holds over 172 clean from here, there's a good chance for this to make like an actual move, something worth our time. So we don't need to be perfect for this to be worth our time. We just need to take a good amount of the trade off the table. So if you got in at $1.74 and got out at 2, that's a really nice trade. Don't beat yourself up if you got out there and it popped up higher without you, because that's still a pretty nice move for a cheap like $1.70 stock. But now, of course, there could have been room to re-enter if you didn't hold throughout. I got out, like I told you, around 221, 225. I scaled out on 2 portions, and we'll see where this takes us here heading into the afternoon. Absolutely going to put this on our watch list here to begin. All right. Now, otherwise, joining us on Facebook Live, LinkedIn, etc. Eric, you entered and re-entered, now out joining us here, I think, on YouTube. Eric E. Very nice, Eric. Congrats. Had to have done pretty well, I'd imagine, there on that trade. All right. So I'm in a new shirt here, just a little switch up from our workshop. If you want to know what Josh looks like when he works out, I'm about to go for a run coming up. So I'm in my buddy's LAPD shirt. My buddy Steve, he's actually visiting Bali in Australia right now. So enough about me. Let's go right across the percent gainers and losers list here, see what we could work with though going into the afternoon. Hopefully, don't get stopped out of my trade. But like I told you, it's not going to be too surprising if this takes time to build here. We're going to keep this on our watch list, though. Actually, you know what? Let me actually do this here first because we would have found these on the gainer side here anyway. But just to go into the rest of the trades that I'm currently in on and the stocks that we've been calling out proactively in our room. I know the Fausto talked about the American Eagle trade earlier today, just during the morning meeting. The whole news of Sydney Sweeney. Obviously, of course, much like in anything in this world, left, right, down the middle, you name it, everything's got to be politicized. So my thought is, hey, there's a lot of money to be made here on this stock, whether you're left, right, up, or down in the middle. We like when the chart goes from left to right and the stock goes from down to up. So yeah, for right now, American Eagle, we're definitely going to put back on our watch list. And we've been calling this one out evidently here too inside our live trading room. I hope you got in when we had mentioned this, not only from the morning, but specifically off of this sell order here. We had and moved up right here at 1308. It laddered up to there actually for a moment, 101,000 share seller. Oh, they broke over it, smashed over it, took another stab back above it here a short while after. All right, well, we covered this in class every month. Just last month in July, we just did this earlier in our Traders Talk workshop. The stock breaks resistance and it runs from resistance. I'd like to think resistance would look to become. There we go. So yeah, American Eagle, we're going to put back on our watch list here for the afternoon. It's at the highs. How could we not? Also, along with that, the order book checks out. This is a really clean book, balanced, no big spreads or gaps, any of that crap. Last one here. This one's a little bit slower, but the ONDS, it's like watching the grass grow a little bit here, right? So I'm in from 252. I've been in this from earlier here when I first went into the VWAP. I averaged up on it a little bit. And now at this point, I would love for this to hit 270. I don't know if it's going to at this point or not. This thing is like watching the grass grow, watching the paint dry here. So I'm not going to put this on this trade on our watch list for the afternoon. I'd rather put Jobby on our watch list if we're going to see like the air taxi, EVTOL trades move up. Archer possibly, even that's pretty damn slow. So, you know what, for right now, I'll come back to them if I need to. Let's go across the percent gainers and losers list here right now. See what else we could add. Verb. Oh, shit, this moved up to 30. Wow. Wow. All right. Well, screw me then, huh? I mean, seriously. Oh my God, Kevin, you've got to be cracking up right now because I was working with you earlier in our coaching session, right? Just before, and we were looking at this. I mean, I told him actually before our session started, I pulled my limit buy order, my stop limit buy order to get this on the break above 1705. And if you don't think I'm talking out my ass here, just want you to know that actually part of my Traders Talk workshop today was supposed to go into this trade. And I was going to go into the prints and basically show you right here at 1704, 20,000 share halt print came out at 10:23 in the morning. And at that point, I was looking for that to be a great entry level. I pulled my order and popped there to begin. And then, of course, resistance did flip into support. I had my trend line here too. And man, I took my eyes off this thing for a while. Holy, I can't believe this moved up this much. I swear to God, I wasn't watching this up until this very moment, at least from the last time I took my eyes off this trade here. So, man, this got away without me. So I'm pretty upset about that. If anyone had jumped in, man, you're the big winner here. But I mean, I swear to you, actually, just before at 11:20 in the morning, I even wrote this to you in the chat board here. Rich was calling it out at first. Like I said, he does a lot of the posting when I'm on calls and we're finishing up the audio. But I was telling you, at 11:22, I wanted the move back up off the halt print. So it happened. I didn't get it. It's unfortunate. But yeah, for this low float stock, it's already up 172%. It already has a bad spread to begin with. Look at this. It's terrible. So I don't really have a great need to put this on our watch list now. So I'm going to just pass on here. But the one that got away. It happens. All right, so we keep moving forward, though. BTBD, nice trade from earlier. It's done. All right, we'll keep going through. The COM trade might be done for also, though, here. This had a pretty good late morning, early afternoon run. Tried to get to 15 and above, just failed to break higher. PBM, little afternoon move, second wind from earlier. It's not really positioned to make another pop again, I don't think so. Let's see, the BTAI trade right there, like we had said, that one's already on our list. All right, cool. We'll just kind of skim through, see what else we got here. Already pretty decent watch list so far. And the UAVS we could possibly add here too. The only thing on the UAVS trade is that it's also kind of slow. So this would probably be kind of towards the back of our watch list. This is also to do with the air taxis and drones and EVTOLs, whatever you want to call them as. There are all sorts of different subspecies of this technology. Listen, I got a bird brain up here. I'm not the sharpest tool in this shed by any imagination. So that's just what I'll tell you. I grouped all those stocks together, and the Ondas did good. The Jobby did excellent. This also did pretty nice today, up 23%. Keep this in mind. And for this afternoon, I'll at least put it on our list for right now. See if there's anything even better. Lead buyout. This on our list already. Reverse. AMPX. This has been on a tear. I keep forgetting about certain stocks, this being one of them. It's like some small caps, so I'm not really too interested in swing trading small caps, just day trading them. So we've had a couple day trades on this thing, but it's been such a better swing trade. That's easy to say in hindsight, but just what a move. And we were talking about the possibility of this trying to at least get back over this area. Support here, flipped into resistance here, held even a little higher from last week, but you know what, for this afternoon, so I don't forget about it going forward, maybe I'll add the AMPX. PROK not looking half bad either. I mean, this one's moving up pretty damn nice, actually. So I might add the PROK number 2 there to our list. Looking pretty nice there. FFAI, flat now. Jobby, as of now, a lower high, we'll call it, so we'll pass. Great morning trade, great swing trade. We're going to keep it in mind tomorrow morning first thing. Open back down. EOS, it's at the highs. It's at the highs. You got some trouble, though, here going back to the beginning of this calendar year, right around 650, 665. See how well it's holding this area once again now? So the more it can flip that into support, then we're on to something. I'll put it on our main list today, but I like the others a little bit more. I'll put this on the back end, but this could be a really good swing trade over time. The more it could flip that area into support. All right, BTAI going back up there. That's good. Rigetti, Quant. Wow, this did squeeze that back up pretty nicely. Oh, you know what? It didn't break high yet, though. Got right up to the high of the day and then just bounced back off of it. So I was going to say, zoomed in, this looks like we missed out on a huge run, but it didn't break a new high. It had an ugly rejection back down. This Rigetti trade does have a nice gap for this to try and, fill more of in due time. And I think that there's a really good possibility of that happening. So keep this in mind as a potential swing trade. BTBT, these mining stocks don't move in the afternoon. OKLO. This APLD trade was looking great just before. It did pull back off the high also. Kind of comparing the APLD to Rigetti, this looks like a sharper rejection off that high, whereas at least the APLD seems to be like, trying to consolidate now. If it can pop back up, there's more possibility for this to make one more move compared to the quantums there. All right, we'll finish up this gainer side here. All about you. There we go. You. And uranium UEC stock going up, and I assume a little deductive reasoning here, CCJ. All right, so uranium might be the hottest sector going into the afternoon, not even just like nuclear. Nuclear and uranium can be tied together pretty tightly, but SMR is down today. OKLO had a great morning, but that's a little bit more flat here. So you know who you are if you trade those. But all about you. This looks really nice. So yeah, we're going to add this trade. We're going to add the UEC trade, the other uranium one here. This might be the strongest of those, at least. Really nice looking daily chart. We've been talking about that for a little while. So it looks like it's finally poised to break new highs here. So keep that in mind. All right. That's pretty much it from the gainer side here, folks. If anything else is looking good on the way up, you let me know. Weeble, not bad. I could definitely see myself adding Weeble. Not just all about you, but you got just you. Not so selfish, you. Not that one's not looking that great. All right, you know what? That Weeble actually looked pretty nice. So Weeble, I'm not back in on this stock. I think Fausto might have jumped back in after he got out from last week, but it's at the highs. So definitely I'll add Webull back to our watch list here. Hop over to the losers here, see what else is out there as a short. Oh, that makes sense. REPL down 26%. Had a good bounce though in pre-market, then at the open here a little bit, but I'll pass. Fig, no surprise. Zero, none. Told you to stay away from it as a swing trade over time at first. It's going to crash, then consolidate. Now, the question is it going to hold over 85? 85 is where we had the 5 million share IPO print that came out on like the first candle there. So we all saw that there if you were with us inside our live trading room. Can't short this thing, so we'll pass on it for right now. And yeah, can't really short IPOs. That's the issue. So we'll pass on it and just not really think about it. Let it be a focal point like later this week. It's going to take time for this to even build support, come back up. So don't even think about it. Just keep it on your watch list. And then, at 85, we'll kind of peak maybe later on this week, see where it's at. Not much else from the loser side here that looks good for me. So listen, the whole market was moving up pretty nicely before, so wouldn't have found too much out there otherwise. Let me know if there's anything else that I'm missing here, folks. We got a really good watch list, though, otherwise. I like what we got. Got a lot of great stocks to work with here at this point. So played open, still jogging. Slow. That's the only issue here. For the afternoon, it's kind of like if you have, I apologize if you have like claustrophobia, especially in terms of time. But we only have an hour and 14 minutes before day closed. So this is like so slow here. Had a good little move in the afternoon just before, but now it's back to normal. So we might be watching the grass grow with this one at least a little bit there, Damon. Jobby, this has at least a little bit more spark to it, but even this seems like it's lower highs for now. It's still kind of holding though, right? I guess you could say it's still making higher lows. So if I'm a sucker for any of these trades, I guess it will be the Jobby. Add that one for now. You know what that will do, I think, right? Let me just check out Benzinga Pro, I guess, before we call it quits. But SRPT, the MP trade's been hot. That MP materials trade, that's been a really strong swing trade of late. Not much else that's looking great from small cap land here, so we'll kind of pass on pretty much all those. All right, the CASI is garbage now. SRPT a little bit. I don't trust this, though. This thing got demolished, not just from last couple of weeks back here, but just then that's where you zoom back out and you say, unless if you know something on the inside about this company, seeing these gaps get filled is more of just hope than anything. If you were looking for this gap to get filled, you're probably still waiting there, right? So that's just where I'll say for this afternoon, I'm not really too jumpy towards this one. I know it's going up a little bit, but we already have a nice watch list. We really don't need to add too much else here at this point. I would rather focus on a much healthier long-term graph, which MP is here, right? So I think the MP, yeah, it's at all-time highs today, isn't it? Today, it just broke new all-time highs. All right, so if I'm a sucker for two trades there, I guess it's the Jobby, and then it's also the MP, right? Got like 1,000 windows open here. Make sure I send this out to the right people. All right, folks, we're going to wrap up at least for the time being. There we go. I just sent it out to Grant, Lynn, and Randy, Damon, Michael, Kevin, Chris, Elizabeth, Wiz, Lawrence, Barbara, all of our students and members alike just joining us inside our live trading room. It's a big list. Why would you look to go elsewhere away from this watch list? There is no need, unless if there's something that you're already actively in, then I'm rooting you on. But there's a reason why we just built up this watch list. There's a reason why Fausto has been talking about AEO this whole morning. Including the Webull trade he's still a big fan of, and Jobby. So there's a lot to work with already. Just pick a few from this watch list to start off on. And then once we're back on the mic, myself or Rich, then at that point, we'll look to kind of navigate the ship here and look to steer us all in the right direction. And maybe at that point, there'll be some other stocks that will pop or maybe even get halted, you know the deal. So for Michael, Margaret, Grant, all of us just joining us here. Again, we'll be back on in just a bit. But if you're on social media, Facebook Live, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, etc., feel free to join us just at Cyber Trading U, popping up right now in the lower left. If you're new to our stream, new to our platform, Fausto is doing an open house webinar on Thursday this week, I believe. We also have a podcast coming out this week. Once again, we typically have 1 or 2 per week. So make sure to hit the follow or subscribe button, at least on our social channels and mainly on YouTube above all else. No offense to you if you're on Facebook or LinkedIn or X. We love you there too. Actually, I prefer X. But listen, YouTube is our main hub for all of our education. So certainly more than anything, just make sure to follow us there. But we'll be back live tomorrow morning for all of us there.